Good morning from the Quilted Chicken Farm. Well, I've been up for a while, and it is still morning. It's not even 8:30, and yeah, I hadn't even got dressed yet. But I did make breakfast for Terry, and he's gone to check the cows. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to sew just a little bit on this quilt here. I found some really pretty scraps yesterday from a different fabric line, but from the same designer. And so I'm going to add some of these in there. They'll go with it just perfect, but it's not Rosemary's Cottage. What's this one called? I forget what she named this one, but it's got the same colors, and so it'll look real pretty with them. Let's just see if I can. This blue come from a different one, but it's the same shade of blue. So I'm going to make just another block or two while I chat with you, because I don't know when that I'll get a phone call and that new baby will be coming, and then I'll not be sewing. And I still got some kitchen stuff I need to do. I'm still putting up food because it's summertime. It's July the 8th, and there's still a few things coming out of the garden that I'm having to work on. I'm putting up some of the okra. Where'd my little snippers go? I got some little snippers here. Everything just, there, I feel them. Here they are. I found them. There they are. There, when I've been sewing those pieces on there. Oh, I've got a stack. I got a stack of blocks here, a stack of blocks back there. I'll soon have enough made to put this quilt together. I'm working. I'm going to go back to work. Let me move that over and turn this iron on. You got to press them as you go along. That really helps. That iron looks like it's got some dirty spots. I've actually quit putting water in my iron because if it sits in there and get rusty and then that steam spews out, I've had it make messes. So I've just started not putting water in mine. And if I need some water, sometimes, not all the time, I'll have a little spray bottle of water around here, or even starch that I can use if I need it. But you don't need that all the time. And since these are just some extra pieces, these other blocks here were made with 10-inch squares, but these are just 5-inch squares, but they're going to do the same thing. I drew a line diagonal across it. And sewing on both sides of that line. There's the line, and I'm sewing on both sides, and I'm not sure if you can see that or not, but it's there. I sewed on one side. I'm going to sew 1/4 of an inch on the other side. And let me move this. I've got parts and pieces everywhere. Got me a turntable here. Let me scoot you back just a little bit, and I'm going to cut this one and show you. Where's I got me an ender. Gotta have an ender. I use my leaders and enders. And there's the two I just sewed. Sewed them twice. Now let's scoot that over. Let me find a straight edge I can cut with. Well, I've got a shorter one someplace, but I'll have to this long one was closer to reach, so I'm going to put that on that line right there. On my drawed line, the marking line. And I'm going to cut it. So then I've got 2 of them. I'm going to press them. So let's do this other one. I'm going to cut. Whoop. Almost got it. Like just one little string there holding it. Now I'm going to press it. Going to press. You know how you do. Press to the dark side. Press to the dark side. That one. I'm going to press them all. Let me turn my back to you just for a minute. Well, I just pressed that to the light side, and I want the dark side. Talking and not paying attention. Let's see if I can get it to go back the other way. I fixed it. It went back the other way. Gotta have 4 of them for this block I'm making. So if you have if you have 2 of one color and 2 of the other color 5 inches, you can make a block. Now on the 10-inch squares, there was 2 blocks in the quilt that was just alike, because it made 8 half square triangles. So that's that. Now I'm going to use my block lock, because this is the trimmer that I like to use. I'm going to tilt you down just a little bit. There it is. Let's move you out of the way. Let's move you where I can find you again. And I'm going to lay it down, and it's got a groove here on the underneath side that locks right up there against that seam. And then I'm going to make mine 4 1/2. Boy, you know what? The only thing I've got to cut off on this is them little tails. Them little dog ears is the only thing, because it was exactly 4 1/2. Now that one's good. Let's try this one. Boy, I'm going to take just a little off of this edge. Not much. Just a little sliver. There's that one. Let's get these other 2. See how close you are. Well, this one's not as close. I'm going to trim that. Then I'm going to turn this around. Turn my board all the way around. Now that darks. And then I was going to scoot this across. Slide it across. And line it up on my 4 1/2. And trim this other side. Just a little bit here. And a little bit right there. Just a bit. Just a tiny little bit. Which one have I not done? Probably this one. Look at that. I'm going to go take that back over there and press it. You see that? I got in a hurry and I need to fix that. I don't want that. I'm trying to make this one perfect. When I started this one, I didn't have a purpose in mind when I started it. But then one of y'all said, I'll take that when it gets done. So when it gets done, it needs to be pretty, don't it? It needs to be good. I'm not perfect, but I try to do the best I can. And you guys that are new sewers, just do the best you can. It'll all work out. Trim a little bit. I'm gonna go back and trim a little on this other one. I can see the numbers. And I need a little dab right there. Just a little. Now, that wasn't so bad, was it? Now I'm going to lay them out here the way that I want them. That right there, and I want my other pieces. Now I made these other pieces here. I'm going to put that right there. That right there, and I need another one too. Where did I make that stack? Oh, here. No, not that. Where did I put them other pieces? Not those. Give me a second. Oh, here they are. I find them. And then I'll have to put one of these between it. Just like that right there. So let's make this block. And then I've got to get up and go do something else. But I'd like to make this one this morning. One a day is going to take me a long time. But I've got a whole bunch of them made. I think it's going to rain here after a while. I hope so. I think it come a little shower last night, and I think there's some headed this way from a couple of counties over. I hope so. I always appreciate rain in the summertime. The only time that it kind of gets aggravating is if you're trying to put up hay and it's raining. Alright, I'm going to get my little ender here and use it again. It's just a little scrap that I cut off. And I'm going to go ahead just to make this easier, and I'm going to press these. And on these, I press this one. Seems like it works easier for me if I press that toward the middle there. So I'm going to press it toward the middle. Now, I'm going to put that in right there. And this one right here. And I'm going to pick up this one and turn it over and sew it right here. I'm going to make one block and then I'm going to go get dressed. I've already made breakfast. I even washed my breakfast dishes. And I washed up a bowl of a big old container of potatoes that I'm going to get ready to go in the freeze dryer. And I'll just tell you guys, my freeze dryer is right here beside me. And you know what? So I'm not going to be sewing in here all the time when it's running because it makes a pretty loud hum. So it would be annoying on my videos. So I may have to just pick up, me and Maybelline may have to go back into the dining room table and sew in there. We'll play that by ear, as they say. You ever play it by ear? I do. My sewing room is the room with the freeze dryer now. And I didn't run the freeze dryer for a long time, but I've been thinking I need to use it. I've got the thing, and it really does do good work on your putting up your vegetables. And it's not hard. And I've still been running the canner. I've got some pinto beans I'm fixing to can. All right, now I've got these pieces right here. That one, and that one. Now I'm going to sew this one to this one. I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to line up them seams where they nest in there. Just like that. And I trimmed them so they fit pretty good. I trimmed them and my seams was just pretty close, 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to pull this bottom one so it nests just a little better. I'm going to get this thing. I need 2 of these. You know what? I need one at the beginning and one at the end. I'm going to cut it in half. So now I've got one for both ends. I'm going to sew onto that scrap. Trim that off. Now I'm going to press this. I'm going to press that. Which way am I going to go? Yeah, I'm going to press that toward the center too. I think. No, I'm not. I'm going to press it toward the outside. Now let's put you down. Put this one right there. See, got this piece to go on there, so we're going to flip it over here. I'd like to stay here and sew, but I can't. I've got to wrap this up. Got to wrap it up. fixing to. That one rolled on me too. I'll press it back in just a second. Get my little ender here. Don't drop it. Then I had to pick it up out of the floor. It fell on my lap. I got you. Let me get that off of there. I put them up on the wall before, and that little piece still be hanging on to it. Alright, I'm going to press that. Press, press, press. Pressing is real important. It really is. I can't stress that you need to have your iron ready, and as you sew, you need to keep it pressed. It makes a big difference on how they fit together. Especially if you're a newbie sewing. There's that block. It looks like it's going to blend right in there with them others, don't it? Let's sew another piece on there. Let me get one of these on there. Let's put it along this edge. I'm going to sew it right here. If I do this step, then they're almost all ready to put together when they're all made. And it makes a 10.5-inch block. The old-timey name for this block is a churn dash. So you know, if you had some pretty scraps, it would make a pretty scrappy quilt. And I tend to enjoy the old-fashioned, old-timey looking quilts. Maybe because it just reminds me of my grandma. My grandmas have been gone for a long time, but that's the only kind of quilt they ever made was scrappy quilts. They didn't go buy big, high-powered new fabrics, but I do. And you do, don't you? Me and you do. Now I'm going to put one more piece on that. This piece here with its block, with its cornerstone, this is the sashing and this is the cornerstone. And I'm going to put it right there. Line up them seams right there on the corner. They've got to be lined up. That seam's going the right way. Where did my ender go? I had two enders. There's one of them. Now I'm going to press that. I've got that sewed on there, and I'm going to press it open, and then I'll have that right there. I kind of get my exercise. It twists and twists. And sometimes I'll stand up, because you know, if you do sew a whole lot, you don't need to sit all the time. You need to get up and move around a little bit, don't you? So there's my block. Let me see, where am I wanting to put it? I think I'll just move this one. I don't have all this. These are not where they're going to go. This is just a preview to look at them. And I'm going to put that right there. All right, one more block to go in my quilt. All right, y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see y'all later. Bye for now.